Shalom, shalom, all praises be to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, B'Shem Kakadash, B'Shem Kakadash, the honors to the elders and apostles of great most and all well, shalom to the hopeful elect worldwide, shalom, shalom. Just some news, bbc.co.uk, and this talks about in England, as the title says, their weapons and violence at Asylum base, say staff. Now I know, obviously, we're aware of, Esau's tactics to using, foreigners, immigrants, as to point the finger and blame and stuff like that. Um, to blame why the country is going down or whatever that, but it's prophecy why Esau's empire is collapsing, and Esau's empire starts with Babylon the Great America. As you can see it collapsing before your eyes, and there's a lot of turmoil and disaster happening. But anyways, Esau Edom. So it's like Esau Edom being the so-called white man, starting with the hidden super elites that rule the world in evil. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people that are released out of their jobs, and they're just going to let AI, robot technology to take over and show merciless violence, man, and total control. It's going to be like iRobot and such films, Anyways, weapons and violence at Asylum base, say stuff. And it says security workers who say they were suddenly dismissed from their jobs in asylum seeker accommodation center have described conditions at the site. Yeah, so security workers, people that are supposed to keep health and safety regulations and keep things secure, are being dismissed. All right, either dismissed or people walking out because they're saying, the job that they're doing is too high risk and above their pay grade. And guess what? This stuff like this is gonna transfer to the police, NHS and army. People are gonna do a lot of walkouts, man, as society worsens, as war increases and climaxes. Okay. Show you in movies like Civil War. Forgive me. Several staff say they chose not to turn up to work at MDP Wethersfield in Essex on Thursday in protest against new terms, conditions, and pay. See, it's above my pay grade. 3 of them told the BBC they were almost immediately sacked and have since described residents there being violent and possessing weapons. The Home Office said operations continued as normal despite the walkout on Thursdays. Alright, you can read the rest for yourself. But the point is really there. Okay, let me get some scriptures. This is Matthew 24. You can read the whole chapter, is good. I'll start from verse 6, and it says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." So wars are going to escalate and intensify, right? Which we are in the brink of it anyway. Russia and Ukraine's going at it. Israel, Iran, China, Russia, America, and various countries gearing up towards war, especially the expenses towards military weapons and so forth. For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Okay, so it's just the tip of the iceberg, in other words. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted and shall unalive you. And guess what? Obviously, this is mainly talk about the prophets, but guess what? Even other people that do not bow down to Esau Edom's system, these agendas, he's his ways of the beast, they're going to be unalive too. It's going to be a total control, major ultra surveillance society, man. The Equilibrium, Matrix. There's a lot of films with Enemy of the State. There's a lot of films that talk about a society that is full of total control, and people get unalived for not obeying or be targeted. So that's what the society is leading up to. There's a lot of talks of political V, if you know what I'm talking about, the political aggression. You can put it that way. With the CK thing that's happened recently. Okay. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, tortured, and shall unalive you, man. And ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. So we're going to be the main target and priority of being, harassed and abused. Okay, because why? We preach the truth of the scriptures, and it offends people. Yeah, because we're destroying the strongholds and lies that has darkened the eyes and minds of the people. Yeah, a lot of people are not ready to break free and grasp reality. Yeah. And then shall many be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. Yeah. So division is going to arise. Families being divided, right? Because they're spiritual beliefs, political beliefs. People outside of the government. People are waking up that the government's evil. A lot of reasons, but mainly this truth. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, this is the point I wanted to get. And because iniquity, which is transgression, sin, wickedness, shall abound, it's going to excel. The love of many shall wax cold. Yeah, crime is going to be escalated, and people are going to be heartless and selfish. Man, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Yeah, and with this article that I just read, the Asylum thing, it just reminds me of like movies like Batman. People in asylums just bursting free, looking for freedom, haunting and lashing out with aggression in society, and also people in general, criminals or non-criminals, are gonna escalate in violence and crime because they're displeased with what the authorities, the government, that have been taking the mick and having total power and control over the people and not giving the people what they want or false promises. And yeah, so people are gonna give up hope in this society, and that's when Esau, Edom, the elites are gonna put the hammer down and try and put people into check by force and deception, violence and deception, should I say. Ezekiel 21:10, it says, verse 9, Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord, say a sword is sharpened and furbished. Yeah, a sword represents what? Destruction. Yeah, and also furbished, meaning what? In the NLT it says it's polished, meaning they're perfecting their sword, they're perfecting their weaponry. And how is Esau Edom perfecting his weapons? By the use of his missiles, his bombs, robot AI technology, man. Palantir and that technology that they have where you can identify pre-crime and you know eradicate you. Okay, so that technology is out there. That's his sword being sharpened. His weapons are being perfected. This okay, AI growing in data and information. Okay, total surveillance society, updating CCTV and camera footage. AI can do fake videos of you and make you look bad and present you as a criminal. Okay, to to distract, to deceive people. Yeah, Esau's technology is used for wickedness, man, and witchcraft, the, deceiving the people. It is sharpened to make a soul slaughter, so it's going to be very devastating. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? In other words, should we take this as a joke? You know? No, the times we are heading into is a dark time. Yeah? Dark and gloomy. Yeah, it's not to be played with. It containeth the rod of my son as every tree. Okay. Just a quote from Batman, Joker. Their morals, their code. It's a bad joke. Dropped at the first sign of trouble. And you can kind of get a hint of that at that movie, Leave the World Behind. You know, forget that actress, so-called white woman. She's talking about she hates people and all of this stuff like that. And you had the daughter, the black girl, was talking about how white people are gonna treat them and stuff like that. So, and you can see it right now. Racism is escalating. Division is escalating. People becoming more cold. Okay. So he says their morals, their code is a bad joke. Yeah, it's a facade. It's a lie. Dropped at the first sign of trouble. They're only as good as the world allows them to be. You will see. You will see. I will show you. When the chips are down, these civilized people, so-called civilized people, they will eat each other. See, I'm not the monster. I'm just ahead of the curve. In other words, he can see the BS before it happens, so he's just protecting himself. But that's the world we live in, man. And we're gonna see more monsters come out, man, in people. Second Ezra 15, straight to verse 14, it says, woe to the world and them that will dwell therein. Woe represents destruction, bad time. But the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. So destruction is coming closer. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So division in society and people fighting each other. Civil war. Okay? Governments, all types of war. The public versus the government, racial war. Okay? National wars, countries against countries, family feuds, neighborhood wars, political wars, everything you can think of is going to happen. And it says, for there should be sedition among men and invading one another. You know, in inflammatory speeches. See, the new hot topic is political aggression or political V. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. You see, yeah, yeah. Now the real true kings are these elite families that own everything, but the presented kings or the poster boys are these presidents and prime ministers and uh, people that have political power and these what do you call it, technocrats and people that have influential power and celebrity status. You can, to a certain degree, or part of certain programs like the WHO, WEF. Okay, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. So yeah, so people are gonna go against the government. People are waking up and tired of the BS and lies and and wickedness that's going on. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So there's gonna be what? Curfews, L downs, just like in the year 2020, 2021. Okay, cancelled flights, planes are not taken anywhere out. People are going to be trapped. Okay, so heavily surveillance with CCTV, sending fines to your house because you left a certain time, or you didn't prove that you're going to work or whatever. Getting stopped and searched on the regular. Yeah, it's good. Like if you played the game, very good game, The Last of Us, man. I think the first Last of Us, the first mission is like you're trying to avoid military curfew, man. Okay, because there was an outbreak going on and stuff like that, which that's gonna increase as well. New outbreaks, famines. Okay, tanks patrolling the streets. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. See, people are going to be afraid in that time. It's a time of great tribulation. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. Yeah, which you see that in the movie. Leave the world behind. Get off my porch, get off my lawn or whatever with a 12 gauge. But shall destroy their houses with a sword and spoil their goods. Yeah, people are going to be keeping their eyes open because people are going to be tight with their money. Famine in society. No more government assistance. A lot of these women are going to be finished and through because they've been living off of raking the benefits from the system and from men, you know, creating financial torture towards men, child support and all these other things, or marriage fees and stuff like that. So, a lot of men are gonna channel their aggression to their ex-baby mamas and stuff like that, man. So we're living in a dangerous time. And spoil their goods because of lack of bread, famine, and for great tribulation. Yeah, because a lot of disasters happen in the world. Okay, so that's what's going to be happening. Revelations 12:12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you." And that devil is a people, man. And that's these Edomites, more specifically starting with the elites, the people that are in control of this earth, man. Job 9:24, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. He operates in deceit, wickedness, and as an opposing force. Okay, he's a deceiver. But the devil has come down onto you having great wrath. Yeah, and you're going to see it with the new legislations, laws, and bills being passed to allow them to haunt and harass the public and the people, or to have total control, to exercise more aggression. Yeah, because you know that you have but a short time, and the reason why is because Esau's empire is in a collapse. Elder Apostle Paul has mentioned it a few times. The average span of an empire, which you can look it up on Google, is 250 years, and we're at that turning point. Obviously, the scripture says that we don't know the day and hour Matthew 24, verse 36, I believe. You know. However, it's signs of a collapse of Esau's empire, man. And he's has a short time because he's been exposed mainly about the truth, man. You know, the elders and apostles on down are exposing Esau for who he is, his true identity, and what he's done, who the real people of Israel are, which are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Hispanics, and those scattered and believe. Exposing Esau's wickedness and plans for the scriptures, you know, the MOTB, the implantable physical device that he wants to put in people to track and control and manipulate. Yeah, so Esau's being exposed, man. So what happens when people are exposed or backed up in a corner is that they crash out. They uh, they react with by being impulsive and reckless, taking everybody with them. In other words, showing their true dark nature. But anyways, with that, all praises be to Yahweh, Bashim Shai, Bashim Kakadash, that want to see the elders and apostles of Great Most and the well. Shalom to the next. Shalom.